I've always found mirrors to be fascinating. Those gleaming glass surfaces that hold the secrets of our reflections, revealing our true selves, or so I thought. But there's something unsettling about the mirror in my bedroom. Something that sends shivers down my spine every time I glance at it. You see, my reflection in the mirror doesn't always mimic me. It all started a few weeks ago. A regular evening, I was getting ready for bed after a long day of work. The room was dimly lit by a single bedside lamp. As I brushed my teeth, I noticed something strange in the mirror. My reflection's eyes flickered, just for a second, like a glitch in reality. I chalked it up to exhaustion, thinking my mind was playing tricks on me. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. The following night, I stood in front of the mirror again, brushing my teeth. This time, I kept my gaze locked on my reflection's eyes. They flickered again, this time more pronounced, as if my reflection had a mind of its own. I dropped the toothbrush, and my heart raced as I stared at the mirror, searching for answers in my own eyes. But the reflection showed no sign of life beyond those unsettling flickers. It mimicked my movements perfectly, mirroring my every action. I shook my head, trying to dismiss the growing unease, but the feeling persisted. That night, sleep eluded me as I kept thinking about that strange phenomenon. Over the next few days, my obsession with the mirror grew. I would spend hours in front of it, trying to catch my reflection off guard, to see if it would betray its eerie secret once more. But the mirror remained silent, refusing to reveal its truth. One evening, as I stared into the glass, my reflection blinked at me. A cold sweat ran down my spine. I blinked back, but my reflection didn't follow suit. Instead, it continued to blink at me, each blink lasting a moment longer than it should, as if it were mocking my every move. Fear gripped me like a vice. I stumbled back, my heart pounding in my chest. What was happening? Was I losing my mind? I couldn't tear my eyes away from the mirror, and my reflection continued to blink in that eerie, exaggerated manner. It was as though my own reflection was taunting me, playing with my sanity. Part of me wanted to smash the mirror, to shatter the source of this dread, but another part was paralyzed by the terror of what I might see if I did. So I backed away slowly, leaving my reflection to its unsettling performance, vowing to uncover the truth behind this horrifying anomaly that had invaded my life. Night after night, I found myself drawn to that sinister mirror in my bedroom. The fear it instilled in me had morphed into an obsession, a relentless need to uncover the dark secret it held. My days became consumed by the mystery, my work and my social life suffering as a result. I started documenting my experiences in a journal, desperate for any clue or pattern in the mirror's behavior. I noted down every flicker, every blink, every instance when my reflection seemed to defy the laws of reality. But it was also elusive, like trying to grasp smoke in my hands. One evening, while I was alone in my room, I decided to confront the mirror head-on. I stood inches away, my breath fogging up the glass. My reflection stared back at me with an intensity that sent a shiver down my spine. I whispered, "Who are you? What do you want?" For a moment, nothing happened, and then, slowly, a smile crept across my reflection's face. A smile that was not my own. It stretched wider and wider, revealing rows of sharp, glistening teeth that seemed to multiply with each passing second. Panic gripped me, and I stumbled backward, knocking over a chair as I crashed to the floor. I crawled to my feet, my heart racing, and looked back at the mirror. My reflection had returned to its normal, innocuous self, but the memory of that malevolent smile lingered like a nightmare. I couldn't deny it any longer. There was something sinister trapped within that glass. Desperation drove me to research the mirror's history. I discovered that it had once belonged to an eccentric artist who had mysteriously vanished without a trace. Rumors swirled that he had used the mirror to create his most haunting and lifelike self-portraits, ones that seemed to come to life at night. My sleepless nights continued as I delved deeper into the mirror's past. I read about ancient legends of mirrors being portals to other worlds, where malevolent entities could lurk, waiting for an opportunity to cross over into our realm. The more I learned, the more convinced I became that my reflection was not mine alone. In my quest for answers, I contacted experts in the occult, hoping they could help me break the mirror's curse. But their cryptic warnings only fueled my paranoia. They spoke of ancient rituals, sacrifices, and dark forces that I couldn't comprehend. I felt like I was tumbling down a rabbit hole of madness, and there was no way to claw my way back out. As the days turned into weeks, my reflection became increasingly unpredictable, and my own sanity began to fray. I knew I had to confront the mirror once and for all, to banish whatever malevolence lurked within. But the fear of what I might unleash kept me paralyzed, caught in a terrifying cycle that seemed to have no end. My life had become a waking nightmare, a relentless spiral into madness, all because of that accursed mirror. I could no longer distinguish between reality and the sinister reflections it cast. Sleep was a distant memory, replaced by endless nights spent in the company of that malevolent glass. The fear had seeped into every corner of my existence. I became a recluse, barricading myself in my room, the mirror my only companion and my greatest tormentor. I had grown frail, my face etched with the lines of sleeplessness and paranoia. My friends and family had abandoned me, unable to comprehend the depths of my obsession. One fateful night, as the moon cast an eerie glow across the room, I stood before the mirror once more. My reflection was different this time, not just in its mocking blinks or sinister smiles. It was distorted, contorted, as if trying to break free from the glass prison that held it captive. With trembling hands, I reached out to touch the mirror's surface, my fingers grazing the cold, unforgiving glass. And then, as if in response to my touch, my reflection began to convulse. It writhed and twisted in the mirror, contorting into grotesque shapes that bore no resemblance to a human form. I watched in horror as the mirror seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly energy. In a moment of sheer terror, I realized that I had to act, to break the cycle that had ensnared me. With a sudden burst of resolve, I grabbed a heavy antique vase from the nearby dresser and hurled it at the mirror with all my strength. The glass shattered into 1,000 shards, and a deafening shriek echoed through the room, a sound that seemed to come from the depths of hell itself. As the mirror shattered, the malevolent force within it was released, a swirling maelstrom of darkness and malice. It roared and thrashed, like a tempest unleashed, before dissipating into the night. My reflection, once contorted and twisted, slowly returned to normal, mirroring my movements as it should. Exhausted and broken, I sank to my knees amid the shattered glass. The nightmare was over, but the scars it had left behind would haunt me forever. I had glimpsed into a world of terror that defied explanation, a world where my own reflection had become a malevolent entity, a world that had nearly claimed my sanity and my soul. In the aftermath, I vowed never to trust a mirror again, to live a life free from the horrors that lurked within their reflective surfaces. I had survived the ordeal, but I would forever bear the knowledge that sometimes the reflections we see in the mirror do not mimic us, but instead reveal the darkness that dwells within us all.